Hey, Dr. Ruth Roberts here, and I hope that you enjoyed the last video I sent you on using the Kidney Health Starter Kit. I wanted to give you a little bit more information about how I treat chronic kidney disease in my practice. And really what it boils down to is essentially a 5-step treatment plan. The first thing is to improve quality of nutrition. The second thing is to increase water consumption for the pet. The third thing is to decrease inflammation. The fourth item is to improve kidney function. And then lastly, we want to work on improving gut health. That's going to sound very familiar. That information is something I gave you in the last video. So I want to flesh it out for you a little bit more. As I said, the first step is to improve the quality of nutrition. I encourage you to switch to cooked or canned foods from dry because that's going to improve the amount of water your pet is consuming. And secondly, it's going to help provide more easily to digest and assimilate nutrients. We want to avoid high carbohydrate diets because carbohydrates tend to make inflammation worse. Simple carbs such as sugars and things of that nature are fairly easy to understand as inflammatory agents. What may not be so easy to understand are things like potatoes and rice. So we want to limit those and feed a higher quality protein and a higher quality fat diet as well. We want to feed highly digestible foods, and that's part of why I really strongly recommend home cooking. And this is going to sound like the polar opposite of what you've been told by your veterinarian most likely, but I want you to feed a higher protein diet than you have been in the past. The one exception to that rule is for pets that are in stage 4 iris disease. And in that situation, we may need to feed a lower protein diet simply to control the amount of phosphorus the pet is taking in. When phosphorus goes high, your pet starts to feel bad and exhibit many of the symptoms associated with chronic kidney failure. Again, I want you to strongly consider a home-cooked diet and make sure you're using one like the original Crock-Pot diet that is complete and balanced so that you will keep your pet's nutrition at an optimum level. The next thing I approach is increasing water consumption. Again, much of this is going to be familiar to you from the last video, but I want to encourage you to feed wet or cooked food because of the increased amount of fluid that's in that food. And if that's not possible, and some cats are extremely difficult to convert from dry food to canned food, I want you to add water to the dry food. Again, be careful with cats because we can put them off of food doing that, and it's extremely important for them to continue to eat because they can get into a very serious health condition called hepatic lipidosis. Another option would be to flavor small amounts of water with things like chicken stock, clam juice, and then there are nutritional supplements like VIO, which is a liquid that provides vitamins and minerals, but it has a lot of fat and protein flavoring to it, so it often will help pets drink water. Consider a water fountain for cats. That flowing water seems to really encourage them to drink more, and also it can be enticing to small dogs. Lastly, I'd encourage you to use a water filter that gets rid of both chlorine and heavy metals and cysts. By doing this, you're going to encourage your pet to drink more water because it tastes better to them. A water filter may be as simple as a Brita pitcher. They do a reasonably good job at getting rid of all of those waste products. And you can certainly make it more complex, like an at-sink filter or a whole house filter. Next, we're going to work on decreasing inflammation. One of the most important things to do is to feed a low carbohydrate diet. Simple carbohydrates like sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and even things like white rice or potatoes actually increase inflammation and create pro-inflammatory substances in the body. As we discussed previously, I recommend using high doses of fish oil to help reduce inflammation all over the body, but especially at the kidneys. For a cat, they may take a regular 1-gram fish oil capsule daily. For dogs, they may take up to 5 or 6 grams or capsules of fish oil for a 50-pound dog. That's why I like to use Icosamax because a half a teaspoon provides that 5 grams of fish oil equivalency. Supplements like rhubarb root extract can be very helpful to decrease inflammation. And lastly, decreasing stress is very important. If your pet is stressed chronically, and cats may be stressed by other cats in the household, dogs may have generalized anxiety, things of that nature, their resting cortisol levels are elevated. And when cortisol is elevated, they tend to stay much more inflamed. So do everything you can to help diminish stress in the pet's household. So use things like hormone diffusers like Feel Away or Adaptol. There are certain herbs and nutritional supplements that can help diminish stress as well. The next thing we're going to work on is improving kidney function, and we can do that by using fluid therapy. That can be given intravenously in the veterinary hospital or subcutaneously at home if your pet will permit it. Surprisingly, many pets do well with subcu fluid therapy on a frequent basis or even daily basis. Supplements like rhubarb root extract and arginine help to improve blood flow to the kidneys, so that's quite important. The other thing is controlling phosphorus levels so that the kidneys have a much easier time getting rid of waste products. Conventional medications like enalapril, which helps to modulate blood pressure, and erythropoietin, which help to stimulate bone marrow to produce red blood cells, can be helpful as well. The more red cells there are out in circulation, the more blood flow and oxygen that comes to the kidneys, and they stay happier longer. Lastly, we do use stem cell therapy in my practice. I can't tell you that we are rebuilding a kidney with stem cell therapy, but what we do seem to be able to accomplish is reducing inflammation so that the kidney works better. Often we won't see those numbers come down as far as BUN and creatinine, but what we do see is that the pet is happier, it has more energy, and is livelier. And I believe that it has delayed the severe progression of kidney disease dramatically. Even for pets that have quite severe elevations in their BUN and creatinine, we've seen quality of life improve dramatically and maintain for months and months at a time. The last thing I want you to work on is improving gut health. Feeding real food that's easy to digest does so much to help improve gut function and make it easy to get high-quality nutrients available to absorb. The original crock-pot diet has been used for years in my practice to help improve the quality of nutrition, provide food for dogs and cats that they love, and also help to keep the gut function normal and provide the nutrients that the good bacteria need to survive and flourish. If your dog has had gut issues in the past, or if it's been on a lot of antibiotics and steroids and non-steroidal drugs, a rotation and elimination diet can be very helpful from the standpoint of decreasing the immune system's reaction to the food that they eat on a consistent basis. That's a little bit of a complex concept, and I do have an informational product available to help you work through that. But for right now, just work on rotating what your pet's eating so that they're not eating the same protein and carbohydrate and vegetables every day. Most importantly, keep your pet eating. If nothing's coming into the gut, it's hard for it to do its job. So if you can't get your cat off of dry food, that's what it is, and just keep on with dry food, but maybe try to switch to a better quality one. Lastly, high doses of probiotics are very important because they help to restore the normal gut flora in the gut, and good bugs make anti-inflammatory organisms. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, and I hope that this information has served you well. Be on the lookout for another video coming to you to give you a bit more information about kidney health. I hope this information has served you and your pet well.